And speaking to the motion, Councillor Jang.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And I too rise to support Councillor's motion and the recommendations contained in the report. I think the most important thing to remember, as I thought about this over the last couple of weeks, is that nobody loses their home. Not a single person loses their home. Even if the prices go up a little bit in order to make ends meet, there's a subsidy for those people. Nobody loses their home, and that is key. I think the other thing that's very important to remember is that, as Councillor Louis had talked a little about, who is and what is the Metro Vancouver Housing Corporation? Well, it's made up of people from all over the region, Burnaby, Richmond, Langley, all different regions, and everybody's fighting to get housing in their neighborhood. And so, one of the discussions was, of course, we'll take some out of Vancouver and put it somewhere else. Do we want that? But Councillor Meigs and Councillor Louis on the board, I joined a little bit later, fought strenuously for that, to keep that housing here in Vancouver. And I'm very thankful to both of you for all your hard work. That's what people don't realize, is that we're not just fighting for housing in Vancouver, we're fighting other municipalities for it, Surrey, Richmond, Burnaby, whomever. But we kept it here in Vancouver. We increased more. And I think the other part that's not really well understood is that there is no senior level government subsidies to pay for all this stuff. When the Metro Vancouver Housing Board does housing, it has to take out a mortgage itself, and they have to service that mortgage just like you and me. Nobody gives them a big handout in order to do it, right? And so, that's why it needed the mixed incomes, it needed the variations and types of housing, because they can't run a deficit. And as it turns out from this pro forma, is that over time, as the mortgage gets paid down, they plow any savings into making the other remaining units far more affordable. So as the debt gets paid down, you've got fewer costs, and that affordability goes right into people's rents. And that's an important thing to remember as well. And people don't understand that. But that is a very key component. Now, with regards to what I heard at the public hearing, certainly we heard a lot of, I would call them professional activists who'd come and say all sorts of things. But, putting that aside, who are the most important in the public hearing, of course, were the residents of Heather Place, who were very, very keen on having this go forward. They said they wanted to live there. They said it was a good development. Metro Vancouver Housing had treated them well. There was one or two people who weren't too happy about some things, but then again, they had other expenses, things like daycare and whatnot, and they wanted essentially a reduction in the rent so they can pay their daycare. But we're looking at rental here, not daycare. The other important voices I heard were certainly the residents of the area, and they had a number of concerns they brought forward, and I thought they were very, very, very good concerns. One of them was, is the scale of the new building out of character with the neighborhood? Well, I work at VGH, and I walk those parks every single day. I'm in the area, and I don't think it does. They say that the nurse's residence isn't proper as a comparator. I think it is. I used to work out of the nurse's residence doing examinations before, and I know that building and area very well, and I could imagine in my head that it would be just fine. So that's sort of my choice. But more importantly, they talked about things about, like, is there going to be enough park space? You're going to add all these new families to the neighborhood, and is there going to be room? The parks are quite full there. But what was very clear in this plan is there's going to be a park on top of the building that's going to be open to everyone. So there will be lots of room for everybody to enjoy nature and sunshine in that area. In terms of traffic, our traffic engineers have talked very clearly that they have plans for looking at parking and traffic issues as they arise and making sure that we have a free flow of traffic and people going through. So after hearing all these voices and considering all the work that has been done, I think it's been a very careful consultation, it's been a very long consultation, and certainly people in the area, certainly the residents have had their say, and it has been heeded. And I'm very happy to support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jang.